Always did like to cook. That started with my mother. And then there was a 4-H program, living in the country like I did. And then I went to Iowa State and chose the food and nutrition dietetics major. I did a dietetic internship at the University of Michigan Hospital. Probably one of the most fun things I did in my life. I spent every day just doing some kind of recipe that the department had wanted me to develop. I was main kitchen dietitian at that hospital, and that was until I started having babies. But I was always more interested in the food production and management side of it rather than the purely nutrition side.
She and her husband opened the Granary restaurant, and the CPA that I worked for at that time was their accountant. We became very good friends. I was in the business world, and so was she.
And then we together were members of the American Women's Association for years. And that was a lot due to her friendship. She got me into that.
Where we traveled together, and she just says, you know, Donna, you're the sister I never had.
My husband became a part of a committee along with Margarite that looked at how can we serve the families and the underprivileged children of our community. So together the church came up with this new church service that was going to have a wonderful meal catered by Margarite.
We did have a lot of people who really needed that meal.
They kept that church service going for probably 20-some years.
She's such a good cook. And she did a lot of cooking classes for the youth when she was with the Arts Council.
Everybody has to eat. Why not make it enjoyable? Why not make an art form of it? Food has always been part of any celebratory event in every culture that's existed.
She also tried to help start the community gardens for families.
I got involved in that really after I retired. I have a granddaughter now who loves to do this with me, and the garden sits near her house. I give a lot of it that's excess to the Care and Share house, which is in my old catering building. I just like seeing stuff grow, and almost a compulsion with me, I think.
She was so dedicated to Children's Square. She was on the board of directors in the 70s.
Because I had my own children, and I had from time to time issues with them. That made me aware of the need for this organization. I was on the board of Children's Square when my third child, boy, was killed in an automobile accident. He was just going to be a senior in high school when he had his accident. I expressed an interest in what monies I would give in memory of Paul to go towards that part of the project because he loved the out of doors. Along at that same time, David, the second son, he really had a severe addiction to alcohol. Was in and out sometimes of the local jail and even state prison at one time as a result of that. And actually a very thoughtful boy in many ways, and he just could not deal with it. It was tragic. Having gone through that, I can feel the hopelessness of trying to deal with that sort of a problem. Sometimes things just go wrong, and parents just can't deal with it. That's where the professionals come in.
That's who Margarite was, and her poise and her attitude and her love for her community, her children, and people who were in need is outstanding.
All work done well has dignity. If you were my night cleaner, if you were a lead supervisor on a wedding, if you are a young teen just going to work, if you did that work well, it had dignity. I enjoyed that, and hopefully they did too.